Hi everyone, welcome back to ONYX Pages. So this morning as I was getting ready to do my day, I had this feeling. You know how sometimes you get these emotional imprints from different times in your life. And the emotional imprint that I got was of back in 2018, 2019 when I was posting a lot, and I just felt at the time I would feel this excitement build up inside of me because I knew that I had a plan to put some content together, and then I would edit it, and then I would share it with you, and it was just so fun, so cool, so much adventure. I wasn't concerned about monetization or capitalism or whatever. It was just oh my gosh, I read a book and I want to tell my people about it. And so this morning I thought, you know what, if I have some time when I come home after my day, I would like to just let you know all of, or many of, the amazing bookish black speculative things that have happened in my life since my last life update. And when I thought about that this morning, I got that feeling again. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to take you through some of the really cool experiences I've had since we last spoke. Enjoy. Hi, welcome back to ONYX Pages. Okay, so first I'll start with some of the books that I've read. Well, no, I'll do another video on the books I've read. I just want to talk about the experiences that I've had. The last video that I recorded on this channel was uploaded on May 8th, and that is quite some time ago. And today is June 7th? 9th. June 9th. And here are some of the really, really cool and amazing things I have done. And I also want to talk a little bit about just some things that I've been meaning to mention on my channel. I don't think I'm going to go very deep into them, but they have been on my mind for some time. Okay? So one of the coolest things that's happened since May 8th is that I went on a special trip. I went on a special journey. So May is my birth month, and several years ago I decided that I would celebrate my month for my birthday for the whole month. So I do a lot of stuff, Tommy does stuff, and we sort of just celebrate for that period of time. And one of the things that I wanted to do during my birth month was travel to England, in large part, to see Cynthia Erivo in Dracula. And I think that is probably the most significant black speculative moment I've had since May 8th. Now, many of you, or you should know that I am a fan of Cynthia Erivo. I've been following her career for a while, and it was important to me to see Dracula. I was really excited about Cynthia as Elphaba in Wicked, and I wanted to see her on stage because she's such an incredible performer. And I thought, you know what, it would be so amazing to actually see her in that element. And so I went with a friend. I went with Sheree Clark, otherwise known as C.L. Clark, the writer, and we saw Cynthia Erivo in Dracula, and it was absolutely fantastic. I have more to say about that later, but sitting in the crowd, watching her play 23 characters, watching her in all of her queerness and all of her Nigerianness and all of her power in the flesh, you know, and just seeing her, the scope of her talent was absolutely incredible. So that was one really cool thing. I was hoping that I would be able to get a glimpse of her like in real life off the stage. But we missed her little like side, like her exit. There were a lot of people standing and like, you know, Cynthia, Cynthia, right? Like that was happening, but we got there too late. So that was really cool. While I was sort of standing in the afterglow of all that is Cynthia Erivo as Dracula, I met a person who teaches Black speculative fictions, and their class was actually there to watch the show. So I made a new contact of someone who like does this work and is actually going to be publishing a work of nonfiction in the Black speculative genres at the end of this year, which was really awesome. Another wonderful thing that happened while I was traveling was that I had the opportunity to interview, her name is Modupe, and she is, I'm going to say M.H. Ayinde, but I think I've just been calling her Modupe. So let me just make sure that I'm getting her name right. Yeah, M.H. Ayinde. And she is the author of A Song of Legends Lost. And I had the opportunity to interview her while in London, which is where she lives and where she's from. And so it was really cool because I haven't done an author interview in quite some time, and it was quite impromptu, and she was really lovely. She met me at my hotel, and we were able to, the hotel was really great to give us a room that we could conduct the interview in, and it was just sweet and fun and full of like a Black girl whimsy. So you'll be seeing that. I made some new friends. I deepened connections with current friends. I traveled on a double-decker bus by myself. I found a wonderful statue of a Black historical figure. I saw some fantastic art, and I drank high tea and did a lot of very London-y things. So that was a really amazing experience. This has been like, this past period of time, there's been a lot of really cool Black speculative experiences. So another wonderful experience that I've had is I got to spend some time with Whitney French. Whitney French is the author of Syncopation, which came out in 2025, which is a novel in verse and Whitney's third book. And it is a wild ride. It was a beautiful book to read, and it stretched me. I will admit, it definitely challenged me, and it stretched me, and it tickled me, it titillated me, it tantalized me. All the T words taunted me, threatened me with a good time. It was a really cool way to use various forms of poetry, various forms of certain kinds of like prose poetry, different forms of writing, to convey a story across dimensions, across time, and that was really cool. It was really cool to finish the book, and then on the afternoon that I finished the book, to be able to sit with Whitney and to interview her and to talk about not only her experiences as a writer, but about her book Syncopation, and to sort of get a little bit giggly about the characters and the plot, and to deal with the question about how we should approach books that are challenging to read. Let me go back to London. Because another really amazing experience that I had was while I was in London, my friend who lives in Toronto, who had just come back from London, was sending me different events and things for me to go to while I was there. And one of the events that she sent me was a poetry reading by Kinesia Lubrin. Kinesia Lubrin is somebody who I've talked about a little bit on this channel, and I'll tell you why. So she is a poet, and I first learned about her book because I learned about her when she published a book called Voodoo Hypothesis, and then I think I found Code Noir, which is a more recent book that it drew my attention because it has sort of a legal element to it, but it's still, poetry verse. I haven't read it. And this is the same theme that I spoke about with Whitney in our interview, and others as well, which is, how do you approach work that challenges you? I have always found it difficult to read poetry. As a teenager, I wrote a lot of poetry. I love listening to spoken word and dub and other forms of poetry, but some poetry, when it gets to reading it, it can be quite difficult for me. And so I actually had an opportunity to listen to poets and of course to listen to Kinesia Lubrin read her own work, which was absolutely magical. And I got to actually tell her that I find her work really powerful, and I also feel like I don't know that I have the skill set to kind of read it because I feel like I'm missing things, or that it is I don't yet know how to appreciate the complexity of her writing. And it was really wonderful to hear her say that, the poem, once a poem is written and shared in the world, right? And I've heard writers say this about their writing, no matter what form, no matter what genre, it's for the reader now, right? It is out there, it is presented, and now it's yours, right? And so reading poetry is not always, not necessarily, not even primarily about getting it right. It is about a number of things, right? It's about what you feel when you read it, what the words evoke, what the way the words are placed on the page evokes for you. It's about so many things. And I felt relief when I heard her say that. And then, interestingly enough, since then, I've heard that same message in a number of different ways. So, and this takes me to another amazing thing that happened in the past month related to Black speculative fiction. Tomi and I last week had the pleasure of going to see Laura Mvula in concert in Toronto. Now, I'm not sure if I've talked a lot about the artists that I love, but Laura Mvula is on my list of artists whose music spoke to me in really powerful ways. And if you haven't followed Laura Mvula's music, this is your sign from the universe to do so. Her first album and her first set, I think it's called In the Dreaming Room, I want to say, but her first set of music videos I find very Afrofuturist, including one of her songs called Overcome. And when I was in school, that song sort of helped me sort of understand the power within me, right? And there are so many, similar to Janelle Monáe's videos, there are so many nods to Afro-surrealism, to Afrofuturism, to magic, what would be called African futurism and Afrojudaism, just so many amazing futurist elements to her work. and through the sound, through the look, and through the dance movements. I've always found her to be fantastic as an artist. And we got the opportunity to literally be in the front row, like just beholding her and listening to her sing. And it was just, her tour is called The Piano Room, and it was just her and a piano, and then her like colleague, musical partner, musical like work husband, and his piano. And she sang many of my favorite songs. Just her beautiful voice, her gorgeous look, her lovely spirit, and her just evocative lyrics. And that transcendent moment was definitely a moment that got me thinking about music as speculative. And one of the things that she said, you know, and in answering questions, because we had an opportunity to attend one of her Q&As, was, again, once she writes the song is for the listener. You know, it's released from her, and it's now ours. And I really love that. And then a couple of days later, I was watching a video about it was an interview with Quinta Brunson, and she was, you know, that he's a content creator and he invites celebrities to his house and then he cooks for them and they sit out on the deck and they talk. That guy. So he interviewed Quinta Brunson, and they were talking about that. And I think he was asking her if she pays attention to any of like the reviews of Abbott Elementary, and she's like, no, not really. Like, we did all the work, we recorded it, we put it out there. Now it's not our business, right? Like, we did our best, and now it's out there for you to interact with. We're now moving on to the next thing. And so I don't know what the universe is trying to say, but this idea of, you know, when you put something out into the world, let it go. Let it go. I mean, get your flowers. Don't let people steal your shit. But also let it go, and trust that it's going to be a seed for other people, and you will not know how it will impact them. You might never know. And maybe that's not even your business all the time, right? And I kind of feel this way about this channel because over the past couple of weeks, I've had some very affirming conversations with people who have quietly supported ONYX pages for years, and who have shared with me the impact that this channel has had on their reading, on their way of approaching Black speculative, on how they place themselves in the community. And I'm really proud of that work. And I also need to know that it doesn't have to be perfect, and I can just let it go, right? I can put it out there and let it go. What else? I feel like, is there anything else that's like Black and speculative? There's some drama I want to talk about, but I just want to see first if there's anything.
What about the bookstores you went to in England?
I did have the opportunity to go to a queer bookstore, and I don't think I actually bought any Black speculative work while I was there. I don't think so, but no, I think I bought another version of a book that I have because it had a UK cover. But it was really cool to like be in a bookstore in the UK and to see a queer bookstore and see some of the similarities, like the protest posters, the activism meetups, and then the books and the, you know, the crafts, all the kind of stuff that you would see in a gay bookstore is really cool. I'm currently reading As the Earth Dreams, which is a collection of Black speculative short stories, Black Canadian speculative short stories, edited by Therese Mason-Pierre, who I've interviewed on this channel before. I've read 2 of the stories, and both of them are excellent, and I'm really looking forward to reading the rest, and I have some ideas about engaging with this work on the channel. Okay, so those are some of the experiences that I've had over the past month. I'm sure there are others, and I'll share those at another time, but as a life update, like, I've been traveling, I've been reading, I've been spending time developing friendships, I have been working. There have been some challenges in life, and I think that's them's the breaks. Those are the facts of life if you were born in a decade. And so that is what it is. And alongside that, I have also been enjoying the synchronicities and the magic that is there in your life if you're ready to receive it, and if your eyes are, if you're paying attention. Okay. So now I just want to talk about, I'm going to just tease a topic and then I'm going to go. So I'm sure that you have all heard that Children of Blood and Bone will be made into a movie, and there are a number of superstars in that movie. Oh, I remember something else I want to say. I love musicals, I love musical theater, and I'm really proud of Jellicle Ball. And I just feel like Black queer folks are really doing some amazing work. And Black queer folks have always been at the center of Afrofuturism and the center of Black speculative fiction. And I feel like that isn't talked about enough. If you look at the people who have been writing prolifically for some time, many of those individuals are part of the LGBTQIA+ community. And like many things, our experiences inform the work, but then the work doesn't always acknowledge that. That's not always seen. And so I've just been thinking about Black queer artists who are reimagining things, right? So Lena Waithe reimagines Cats, and then we get the Jellicle Ball that centers trans and gender non-conforming people on Broadway in this historical moment. Like, how fantastic and amazing it is to see this performance come to life and do well in the United States of America at this particular historical moment. Like, how brazen, how beautiful, how amazing that that's happened. How amazing for us to have a Black queer woman play Dracula, of all characters, and to infuse Dracula with Blackness and queerness and gender diverseness, gender identity, and gender expressionness, right? Like, how amazing it is. And I'm so grateful that we have so many Black, queer, and trans artists who are taking risks, who are investing in their own, like, in their own work, in the work of others. It's so phenomenal, and it's changing the conversation in a way that we need to see. I can go on about that later. Back to Children of Blood and Bone. You know my feelings about Children of Blood and Bone, and my journey through the trilogy. And I'm, if you want to see that, you can go back and take a look. But I note that this book is being made into a movie that will be available for our consumption. I will watch it, obviously. Some of my favorite actors are in it, and I want to see the movie. I think that we haven't had. Can you think of a young adult Black Afrofuturist or Afro-retrofuturist fantasy movie besides Black Panther?
No.
Like, hitting the main stage? Like,
Not in the last several years.
I can't remember that. Like, and I watch a lot of movies. I can think of movies with black characters, but movies where everybody's black, or the majority, and it's written by a black woman, and I don't remember that, right? At all. And I just think that is a very powerful thing, right? So I am going to watch it, and I hope that it is inspiring beyond just the novelty of the thing, right? And I'm also thinking about all of the announcements that we heard about in 2020 and beyond, of shows that haven't come to fruition yet. So what happened to us being able to see, was it Who Fears Death? Well, we were supposed to see a Nnedi Okorafor book take shape. And I think we were supposed to see another Octavia Butler book take shape. And we haven't, they were announced as miniseries. I mean, we got Kindred, right? But I don't think we're getting another season of Kindred. We are not getting another season of, what's the one with Regina? Lovecraft Country. We're not getting another season of that. We're not getting another, or that's not Regina. It's The Watchmen.
Yeah.
We're not getting another Watchmen. So, a lot of us on BookTube have talked about what happened in 2020, where everybody was like, oh, go support your black people, go support your black films, go buy your black books. And then we sort of crested, and then sort of nothing. And I don't know the exact reasons why we're not getting what we were promised, but it is interesting to see. We did get that Afrofuturist or Afro-pessimist Janelle Monáe movie for a hot second, but it's interesting to see what gets lift off, and I have said this about Children of Blood and Bone as a phenomenon, right? How this particular book and then the resultant series has been able to capture Hollywood's attention. We have Tomi Adeyemi on late night television. We have Tomi Adeyemi on Instagram unboxing, and everybody's so excited about the book. We have Tomi Adeyemi doing a cameo in The Devil Wears Prada 2 across from Meryl Streep, right? We have Tomi Adeyemi on Tamron Hall, is that her name? Right? So we're seeing her everywhere. And this is not to beat up on Tomi Adeyemi getting her flowers. This is more about the question about who those systems lift up, right? And why. And I'm thinking about what is making it to production and what's being stalled and why. Why? Why don't we have more of Octavia Butler's work making it to television and film? Why have we never seen any of N.K. Jemison's work, right? Why The City We Became as a duology? I haven't even read The City We Became because I have a thing about leaving one book or one series that I haven't read yet until a new one has come out. So, we have all of this amazing, well-written, complex, challenging work, that really gets us to think critically about this historical moment. There's so much amazing work out there, and it's not getting the attention that it deserves, and it's not making its way to bigger audiences. I think of all of the emerging writers. I think of all of the, digital magazines that are out there where you have people who are just writing, like even the As the Earth Dreams, like the 2 short stories that I've read here, they should be Black Mirror episodes. Like they're amazing. Syncopation by Whitney French would make an amazing film. Amazing film, And why do we not, lift up the most challenging work? I mean, I obviously know why, right? I know why. So I hope, and I was going to do a video on this, I do hope that the movie Children of Blood and Bone addresses some of the unanswered questions in the trilogy. And I hope that in writing it for the cinema, right, I hope that we will see its potential for complexity on the screen. And I'll be watching it for that, right? Because a lot of people will be watching it, right? And I think we should. Like, I think that it is important to take in what's being put out and to critically engage it, right? So I'm looking forward to it coming out, and I'm excited about its potential. I was going to do a video, and I still might, about missed opportunities that I would love to see addressed in the film. But then I'd have to read the whole trilogy again, and I'm not sure that I'm ready to do. I'm not going to do that. But I have made some notes. I annotated all 3 of the books, and I might just put it out there, at least as a guide for people who are, maybe guide is a little too lofty, at least as an offering for people who are going to go see the movie and might not have read the books. Like, there's some questions that I have that I think could be answered through film, right? So I'm looking forward to that opportunity. Is God Is? Is God Is? I haven't seen the movie. It was out for 2 seconds, and sometimes I just need to go and see a movie when I want to, because I miss them, right? So I didn't get to see Is God Is in the theaters, and it's gone now. 48 Acres, or 40 Acres, a post-apocalyptic movie set in Canada, produced in Canada, amazing, in and out, in like a couple of weeks. It wasn't in the theaters very long. Sinners, obviously, got a lot of awards, an original movie, very Black speculative. Glad that it got its flowers, and that I really enjoyed it. And obviously, Wicked is not Black speculative, but I think that there are critical questions that we could be asking about what it means for us to have received Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba, like what that did for those of us who are fans of Alice in Wonderland. No, I'm not even Alice in Wonderland. Excuse me. I always get The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland confused because childhood trauma. So anyway, yeah. Anyhow, this is just my sort of just rambling, not rambling, I'll be kind to myself, sharing some of the thoughts that I've had about whose work gets lifted up, what is our role as readers, as audiences in that lifting up, how do we critically engage what's available to us to see, for us to see, how do we support what's out there in a way that encourages more work to demonstrate that there are audiences for these works and even more challenging works. What's our obligation there? The contributions of Black queer folks to Black speculative at a peak right now. What do we make of that? And of course, the beauty of being able to interview and talk to authors of Black speculative about their writing journey and about their reasons for sharing their fantastic works with us. There will be more of those in the coming months. So that is what I wanted to share with you as a life and channel. No, there's no channel update, just as a life update. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about my experiences in the past little while. And in the comments, I would love to hear your thoughts about anything that I've shared, or any questions you have, or any answers to the questions that I've asked. If you have watched this all the way to the end, I would like you to, in honor of the movies that I've talked about, include an emoji that's movie related. So like a film reel or a film projector, or something like that. All right. Thank you very much for reading with purpose. Thank you for watching this channel, and I'll see you in the comments. Bye for now.